Hi everybody, welcome to Property Chat. This is just a short video because I know lots of people are asking the same question to us when we're asking for information. I just want to be clear with you so that you understand why estate agents are asking you for a lot of information when you sell a property or when you make an offer. There's a number of reasons for it, but number one, to comply with the law. Under anti-money laundering regulations, agents have to establish who you are, and they have to do so by establishing your identity, normally in the form of a passport and a driving licence. And then they may ask you questions, or should ask you questions, as to the source of the funding of your purchase. And they may well ask questions which first of all seem impertinent, like where did you get the money from, how did you get the money? And this may seem wrong to you, but you should understand that they're not doing it for any other reason but to comply with their obligations under law, to make sure they understand that the money is not the proceeds of any criminal activity. So just to defend estate agents for once, as I don't often do, they do need to do this in order to cover themselves in that way. Then on from that, you may wonder why they're asking about the size of your deposit, how well your mortgage is arranged, etc. And this is important because quite often when we're looking at a buyer, we have to compare those and contrast those with other buyers that may have offered more or less than you, but may be in a better or worse position financially. And we need to report all of those offers to our client and have the detail around it. So for instance, we may have two buyers, one that's in a substantially better financial position than another, and a house that needs work. And you might think, well, how would that affect things? Well, let's say we've got a house that needs complete modernisation and somebody's looking at a 95% mortgage on that house. They're highly unlikely to obtain that mortgage finance because any surveyor going through that door is likely to downvalue it, and of course you won't have the funds available to necessarily refurbish it, and they probably won't grant you any mortgage at all at that level. Whereas somebody looking for a mortgage of say 75% or maybe 50%, the chance of a surveyor looking at that and saying, well, yeah, that's a much lower risk for us because obviously we've got the 50% security, that's much more likely to go through. So that's why we're so keen to understand not just where the money came from, but where the finances are organised, if they're organised. It's not all about tricking you. That said, what I would also go on to say is that some estate agents will try and insist that you go through their broker in order to obtain mortgage finance. They can't do this. You're within your rights to use your own broker. And this is illegal, but many estate agents will say to you, you must speak to our broker. I'm not suggesting you necessarily say no to that, because actually you need to give them comfort that your mortgage is arranged, but you do not need to use their financial advisor. Sometimes they'll use the argument that if you use our financial advisor, then the offer will be accepted. I'm always sceptical of whether that's actually the truth, because it's highly unlikely that a vendor would request that of them. It's more likely they're thinking about their own commissions. So I'd ask you to think a bit laterally when you're looking at those kind of requests. But don't be too candid when it comes to information. If you're serious about property and you make an offer, be prepared to volunteer information that may at first seem a little impertinent, particularly in relation to the deposit and your identity. I hope that's helped you understand why these things are asked for, and we'll see you again soon, hopefully. Thanks for watching.